Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. We are your hosts. We're still joined by Matt Young from Roby Commercial and Joe Laracy of Queen Park Social, and we're getting ready to go into why you picked the space you picked, sort of the history of the space that you picked, and then wanted to talk a little bit about the construction elements that have gone into that space so far and what is planned. To tell us, Joe, you were mentioning the South Park area. You have some pretty good statistics on that. We had Mecca Properties out in here a couple weeks ago. South End area. I'm sorry, you're right. South End, talking about the South Boulevard corridor. So everything's moving that way. Tell us a little bit why you chose that spot.
Let me say, we used to, growing up for 99, my first 10 or so years in business, we used to own a couple buildings. Our old shop, we're now on the corner of Moorhead and Wilkinson where our shop is. I guess we're trailblazers, kind of like the Mecca Boys,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, they were South End before South End was vogue. We had a couple buildings over off if you're headed south on South Tryon. After you cross over Remount Road there on the right, I mean, the buildings had the same oversized brick that y'all have on that building. I'm sure they were built within the same couple years. Same buildings, basically. And we thought it was rough over there, you know. I mean, I said, I'm about to start having kids. I can't take my kids to the shop. So we had to move. We moved to the west side. I'm kidding. But now it's, I mean, when Old Mech opened up where Sugar Creek now is,
yeah.
and that's when we started kind of getting in the area, man. That area is smoking. It's hot. I got to say, that little, I guess a little three-road intersection is like the hottest area in one of the arguably the hottest areas in Charlotte. How'd you find it?
Yeah, no, I mean, we couldn't agree more. We're excited. And we bought the property back in December of last year. So it's been a process through rezoning and permitting process. But going back further than that, when I started looking at, said, all right, we want to be in Charlotte. This is where we want to, focus on the project. And then South End with all the, the great demographic trends, the construction development. And then specifically, a colleague of mine in New York, Eric Johnson, has got a development firm down here, White Point Partners. And need to introduce you to those guys if you don't know them. But talking to him about the area, and then they were looking at this building. And that, learning more, again, going back to the spot in New York, they complement Brooklyn Brewery and Brooklyn Bowl are across the street from one another.
Oh, nice.
And so we feel, hey, we're a new offering. We've got entertainment options and a full menu, full bar, obviously, and we got these two great breweries, especially with the size of Old Mech and the incredible draw, a couple thousand people there at once on a Saturday, I'd imagine. So that was really, and obviously you go further and closer to town and you're going to pay a lot more for the real estate.
I mean, you can get to it on South Boulevard. You can get to it if you live in Eastover or Myers Park. You come west and hit it there on Woodlawn Road. You get to it on South Tryon. Then I come from the west side. I live out on the river, so I come up Billy Graham. I mean, it's very, very convenient to anywhere you're at.
Close to the airport, too.
Close to 77. I mean, you're right. You're sort of tied in there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Cluck. How you chose Cluck Design, and then talk about Roby Commercial. Maybe Matt can talk a little bit about the construction process and how this happens.
Sure. So Cluck, they've done phenomenal work on the design side, and they're really known as really creative folks who can take a space, and with this kind of concept, we felt like they're the perfect fit. And so we're really excited about the overall design work they've done, and again, figuring out creative ways for us to kind of reuse parts of the space and materials on site. Roby, we wanted someone that had a strong reputation, and you guys are really building a big footprint, and as you continue to grow on the commercial side, and got linked up with Matt, who I can't say enough horrible things about, and
me neither.
It took several rounds of golf to land this project.
All the beer and golf, that locked it in. No, I mean, we ran out to number, I think 4 different groups, and again, we couldn't be more excited to be working with you guys.
So Matt, you pumped up about the project?
We are pumped, and it's kind of mutual agreement there. It's just exciting to be part of a project as Queen Park Social, kind of going to be a staple of Charlotte and all the. It's going to be a good hangout spot, especially complimenting Olmec Brewery over there. So it's exciting to be a part of it.
Well, I hope the commercial business and our residential business and all of our other businesses, for that matter, are relationship businesses.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
And we're all about building relationship, working with like-minded people, working for a win-win. And what we hope, the Roby family and Andrew Roby, we're traditionalists. We're Charlotte boys. All I do is talk about Charlotte. Every night I'm out, I'm pumping up. I'm telling old stories. I tell the same story, but I talk to different people. Sometimes I talk to the same person. I'm like, did I tell you this story before? But it's all about the history, and it's all about getting those chill bumps when you're talking to somebody. And we really feel like bringing that sign back, having this concept, which really there's not a social house in Charlotte, having the pub with the bowling. You said something about maybe having some horseshoes, like I'm out on the river.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gonna be able to have horseshoes out there?
If that's what you want, we'll have it outside.
Well, I don't think there's a bar in Charlotte with horseshoes.
And again, having some unique offerings like that we're not doing billiards. There are a number of places you can go for that.
Yeah.
So and this. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say you were mentioning some private spaces as well.
Yeah, so we want to cater to corporate event business a lot. Obviously, you've got the big banks and all the services here, NASCAR, and so that was another draw to Charlotte. So we think between private rooms, we've got to do smaller groups, or if you want to rent out a bigger section of the venue, then you can certainly do that. And so that'll be a big part of the business. And it's we've got the cool pieces like in the bathroom. Overall, it's very classy, built to last over time, both for the menu of food as well as just the space in general.
So what kind of food are you going to have? What's your specialty?
So we're working on the menu at the moment. If you guys have any favorites, send them my way. We got a chef that's helping us out. We're kind of calling it Gastropub meets Tex-Mex, and we're not trying to have a 4-page menu with numerous items, but it'll be, we'll probably switch things out here from time to time, but limited menu, quality, but kind of that gastropub, burger, flatbreads, Tex-Mex, nachos, tacos, but not your standard bar food.
I'm glad you explained that because I had no idea what gastro meant. That could mean a number of things in my world. I'll tell you, speaking of horseshoes, I was taking my girls to school yesterday, and we passed a car, and Tatum goes, or Rowan goes, "Hey, they're from Tennessee." And I said, "There's Tennessee. I said, there was a song when I was growing up, Tennessee, yep. Tennessee. I Googled it, played it for the kids. They watched the video. It was Arrested Development. And in that song, Tennessee, Tennessee, they talk about throwing horseshoes. So
horseshoes.
That might, to heck with Point Break. Who? Patrick Swayze's in Point Break?
Yeah.
Is he your
Keanu
show
Reeves.
guy?
Come on, man.
Are you going to have Patrick Swayze at the opening?
From Ghost?
Maybe we can do some clay pottery.
There we go. I think Matt might have challenged you to a game of horseshoes.
I will challenge you. Opening day, me and you, horseshoes.
Well,
see if we can get a crowd for that.
My golf game is funding your kid's college, so maybe I can get a ringer or two. I don't know. It's funny because everybody always challenges me to cornhole. I'm terrible at cornhole, but I promote it well.
You seem to fare pretty well in those tournaments.
Well, I just like donating money to people.
Well, Joe, obviously you can Google what's going on with Queen Park Social, and you've had a ton of exposure. You've been in the Observer. I've seen you in the Business Journal. I'm not sure if there's a way to keep track of the project other than obviously going by and checking out the actual site. But March is the projected opening, right? March Madness, maybe.
Yeah, we the sooner the better. I think March is what we're kind of targeting right now. As far as we're going to have some big TV, big screen TVs in the bar area, as well as over the stage area. So we definitely want to do a blitz around the basketball season. As far as now, what you were asking about.
Is there any way to keep up with the project? Do you have a Facebook page or any kind of?
I'd say right now, www.queenparksocial.com. We've got a landing page. There's not a lot of info on there at the moment, but as we get closer to opening, We'll build out with our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
We'll do the same on our social media as well. If you want to check out what's going on, just check out Andrew Roby, Roby Electric Facebook. We can put up the article that's been in the Business Journal and in the Observer. Joe, thanks for joining us. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it,
Listen to
guys.
At Home
Thanks
with
a lot.
Roby. We'll be right back.